G'day everybody, Nick Dingle here again with another Unity 3D video. This time we're having a look at making a 360 video using Unity 5.6's new movie texture. Now, if you missed the first video where I just went through the software setup for all the things you need for Google Cardboard, also including making a quick Android app in Unity, okay, go to the description. First link will take you straight to the first part and you can come back when you're ready. Now, the first thing we need to do in this video before we get into any of the nitty-gritty is download some assets. Now, the first one is going to be the zip file called the 360 video assets, and that includes a script file and a shader. Now, I did not write these ones. So in the description at the bottom, I'm going to acknowledge where I originally got these from, okay? So that's the first thing we need to get. And what I want to do with it is just drag these files out. So I'm going to grab these two, and I'm going to drag them into my downloads folder. Okay, and now these two are ready to be used. The second thing we need is something 360 that we can actually look at, so a picture or a movie. Now I've got these two here, Eagle 360 and Surface 360, and the best way that you could possibly get those is from a VLC 360 website. Type that in, go to the first link, and if you scroll down on the page, when it comes up, you'll find this little section, 360 test samples, and these are absolutely perfect. They're the best format and they're really good quality. So go and download one of these ones or even the photo to have a look at. So once you've got all that stuff and you've downloaded it, you're ready to make a new project with me. So go and do all that, pause if you need to, and then jump into Unity. So we're gonna make a new one. I'm gonna call this 360 tour. Why not? Let's create that project. Give it a few seconds to make it up, and then we're going to drag in the files that we need into the project. So while this is open in the background, I'm going to open my downloads folder, and I'm going to drag these files into my assets down there, and I'm actually going to drag all of them at the moment. So whoop, splat. Now give it a little bit because the videos themselves are roughly 300 megabytes. These files are tiny, so they won't take long, but the videos might take a bit. All right, now we're ready to roll. When you're setting up for a 360 video, I think the first thing you need to do is delete this directional light because there is no artificial light inside this project. It all comes from the video. In fact, the object we put these videos on, we unlight it. So there will be no lighting in this at all. So forget about dynamic lights or whatever like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to set up our level first, and then we're going to chuck everything on that we need. So let's go to Game Object, go 3D Object, create a sphere. First thing to make sure of, in position, you need to make sure the X, Y, and Z are all set to 0, and the scale are set to 2s. All right, and the reason that is, I found 1's a little bit small, and the camera clips through the sides a bit. Okay. Second thing we need to do is get that camera in place. So I'm going to click on him, and I'm going to make sure his positions are all 0s, and he's ready to go. Now we need to set up our assets ready to put it into our game. So we need to use this shader here, this inside out shader. And all it does is literally what it says on the box. It turns our 3D objects inside out. So if we're inside them, we can actually see everything on the inside. Because if you look here, if you go through in 3D objects, okay, they're outside in only. So let's create a material that uses this shader. So right click down here, go to create, and then material. I'm just going to call this inside out material. I think I spelled that right. Yep, looks pretty good. And to make sure it uses that shader, at the top right here, click on standard and just select the inside out. And then we drag that shader onto the sphere. The second part, let's get the video in there. Grab an Eagle or the Surface video or whatever else you got for that matter. Chuck it onto the sphere. Now, if it's a video, you might notice nothing actually happened. Well, it did. If I click on the sphere, you'll see it's got the video player component over here. So let me quickly take you through the settings of that because they're pretty easy. And then we're going to fix up our camera and we're pretty much done for this video. Okay, the main settings really, you've got to make sure the video clip's set properly. Easy as that. There are a couple of sources where this video can come from. As you can tell, a URL could be used if you want to stream video in rather than having it inside your application. So if you've got lots of different videos or lots of different images, consider using the URL, okay? Because it might save bandwidth on the user's phone. Make sure the video clip's set properly if you're using video clip. Play on awake just means as soon as you play this scene, it's going to play the video for you. Wait for first frame. Because videos are large, Unity takes a little bit to start loading up the video. Now, what Unity is going to do is try and play this as quickly as possible, but it might skip a few frames. And what that means is you might see black for a little bit and then bang, you start seeing the video from that point. However, if that's ticked, that's what happens. It goes black for a bit and then it'll show you the first frame. Otherwise, it's just going to play for as soon as it possibly can. All right. The last one is loop, really. Okay. If you want to loop after the video finishes, just tick it. And you got playback speed, which is pretty straightforward. The rest of it, I don't want to talk about because it's fairly straightforward from there. Anyway, well, it's not straightforward. Sorry, you don't really need to touch this stuff. Sorry, that was the wrong sentence. But anyway, last thing, let's set up our camera. Because if I just drag this mouse look script onto my camera, and to confirm it's there, just click on the camera. It's all down here. If you don't like the sensitivity of it, by the way, you can change it here and here. But if I click play, we have ourselves a lovely freezing Unity 360 video that we can look around. And there we go. That's how you do 360 videos or images inside Unity 5.6. Okay. In the next video, I want to show you basically the same thing that I've got here. We're going to package this into an Android app. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. Like, subscribing, and commenting is exactly where you'd expect it to be. I'd like you to think about it, though. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.